Hey everybody, welcome into Going Public. I am Harry McCullough. We're joined this week by the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Gordon Dove. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I know we got a lot to talk about flood and wind, but elections, you wasn't part of the election cycle this time for first time in a long time, right? How you doing?
Yeah, it was truly amazing to see a governor go in the first time, and Jeff went there. He campaigned hard, and he took it the first time, and I think he's going to do us a great job. And you had quite a bit of elections, and you have a runoff for parish president for my seat, and you had nine people in the runoff. In the primary, so there's two in the runoff. So naturally, it's who picks up the other one's votes.
Sure.
And you only had 21,000 people show where we normally have 27,000. So the primary is either going to be slower than that. I mean, I'm estimating 11, 12,000 people.
Right, without the top of the ticket, right?
You don't have a governor's race.
Yeah.
Liz Morell's in a runoff with someone else, and she took 44% of the vote, and she looks like she should sweep in, but in the treasurer's race, and so there's some runoffs on there.
A few things.
The big race,
the
the
big
governor's
stars,
going.
right,
Yeah. When I say going, he's elected 52% of the vote.
Right. So it'd be interesting to see. So no withdrawals though. You weren't looking for a place to go. Run for office somewhere?
No, I've got 22 grandchildren, so it's time I spend a little time with them. But I still have my regular businesses, and
obviously,
we have a hunting ranch and trail ranch, and
I know you got plenty of things to keep you busy.
So we got a camp in
Never
Grand
stopped
Isle,
you before
so
though.
Kids love Grand Isle, so.
No, I'm with you. So let's talk about how you're going to protect those grandkids down the road because of flood and wind insurance is where we're going to start today.
Yeah, well, I just want to bring the public up. As you know, Terrebonne Parish was part of 39 parishes, 10 states, with Jeff Landry and Liz Morell with the Attorney General's office, and we sued FEMA under the 2.0. The worst thing about 2.0, it takes your grandfather status away. And so we've asked him for an injunction. The judge who heard it was Federal Judge Pavillon, which was recently appointed by the Biden administration, and we're waiting on his ruling any day now. And as soon as we know, and of course the maps themselves, we're taking section by section of the maps, like Chauvin, Dulac, Delorge, Pointe-Charlotte, and Montague, and the east side, and even some of the west side. The west side didn't fare as bad as the east side as when it comes to the elevation.
Right.
And we're doing our own models, our flood models and our storm surge models, and we the engineers and consultants believe we do better if we take an area at a time. Now we're doing them all together,
Sure,
but we're doing it at a time, and but so we hoping to win the injunction and stop this craziness about not. The biggest problem is if you in an area that became a flood zone, whether it became a flood zone 10 years ago, you're not grandfathered in. That's the bad thing about it.
No, I built my house in a non-flood zone. Now I'm in a flood zone that's $8,000 a year. So how you change the rules just like that on somebody?
And that's just the federal government.
And it never flooded.
Now remember, if you don't, you have to accept the maps. If we don't accept the maps, then we lose the NFIP, National Flood Insurance Program.
Right.
That doesn't. So no one gets insurance. You can't do a mortgage. Not only that, if there's a hurricane, FEMA doesn't come to your town.
Right.
You are out of the FEMA.
You guys had to do it.
You had to, and it was as much as you had to grit your teeth to sign it, but we are fighting it. And and on wind insurance is the next thing that's killing killing everyone financially. Now I did find that you have some other companies writing. The legislature did put money up to try to attract businesses in, and so there are other companies writing. And like anything else, if we don't have hurricanes, I think you're going to see more come in on a wind. Right. But it's really, really the number one problem in Terrebonne. But we don't have a flooding problem anymore.
Right.
We have levees. We added 30 pump stations. We doubled the pumping capacity. We have 100 pump stations, but capacity-wise, we doubled it. So we don't have a flood problem.
Right.
we have an insurance problem.
Absolutely agree. All right. So speaking of elections, so the rededication of $1 million SRO funding.
Right. There was 1.66 mil set up, which is by state statute. We had to collect the money. We collected $7 million to build a new public health building right next to Tesh Clinic across from Griffiths on Tunnel Boulevard. So we have the $7 million, but we have to maintain it. So we took the $1 million that we didn't need anymore in there and rededicated to the SRO, as you can see, school resource officers. We presently working with, and I want to tell you, Sheriff Tim Saunier, Bubba Orgeron, Chief Travis Terrio, TPCG Council, and the Catholic Diocese and other private schools. We're all working with them, and to get these SROs funded. The good thing about this is going to be reoccurring. So we that's going to go to everyone from the sheriff to the school to everyone to help them fund that. We've put up $2 million in some LA money, some Louisiana trust money that came in because of COVID, and we bought $2 million. So they're gonna we supplying SRO vehicles. And if you're gonna see it's gonna be a black vehicle with SRO on it, and it's the Louisiana Recovery Funds is the name I was trying to think of. But we came on the show. I want to thank the sheriff, Bubba Orgeron, Chief Travis Terrio, and I want to thank the council. The council's with us every step of the way, and
so important.
And we got a good council, and
right.
The council members are very knowledgeable, and they work with administration to get through this.
Very, very important. And the last thing you want to see is a Uvalde, Texas, and anything like that. So that's why these guys are so important.
And but remember, a SRO has to be 2 years trained. So like the sheriff and Travis Terrio, the chief would tell you, you just can't go pull someone out and say you're an SRO. So we're protecting our schools. Now we want to be able to get dedicated funds so they don't ever have to cut the funding for it.
Right.
So this is $1 million. It's not enough to fund all the schools,
right.
But we already funding them through
With
Terrebonne. And I want to thank the school board has stepped up along with Sheriff Saunier. And because the HPD is under the parish's umbrella. So it's really coming along well.
All right, great. Speaking of coming along, anybody that travels Old Bayou Black 182 and Hollywood Extension, that bridge is blowing and going. And boy, when they get started, they can build those bridges fast.
Right, and that's sea level. It's GIS engineering. It's $4.2 million engineering construction. We had to do some land acquisition. It is a 3-lane bridge, so it's actually wider than the Polk Street Bridge. Mm-hmm. It's going to look almost identical to Polk Street with the bricks and the the lights. They really make a good-looking bridge. It doesn't cost much more money. And, it's 50 foot wide by 84 foot long, 3-lane sidewalks, and it's all concrete. And it's really moving well. If you look at the next page, that's the artist rendition, but you can see they're driving the piling here pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And they got a nice piece of equipment there. We're trying to get to where they opening the lanes for the traffic, so we don't make it too inconvenient for people.
And you think beginning of next year, end of this year, beginning of next year?
The end of the year. The way they're going, end of the year, beginning of next year. If they don't have any weather shutdown, they're really moving fast. Because after they drive the pilings, they're going to put their concrete rafters across it, and then they set these. The bridge itself comes in Iswaski slabs, and it's all puzzled together.
Right. And that's the one good thing about El Nino and no kind of a drought this year. Construction has had no problems with construction projects.
Right, and if you live in Terra Cane, Plantation Garden, down Gibson, all you can just scoot here, get Hollywood Road, and hit Martin Luther King.
Right, Valhalla.
So I think this is going to really be. We worked on this. This is Restore Act money. We worked on it, getting the monies on this, and it took us a while, but we're well under construction.
Because there was nothing between St. Charles and Savain Road.
Right.
So now this will give another.
And remember, the bridge further to the west by Michael St. Martin's house, we had to shut that bridge down because it's wooden pilings and the pilings are rotten. So that bridge is, and we're going to remove that bridge. So we had to get
this
another
one will
bridge.
take the place. Yeah. So the Bayou Cane pump station is next.
$12.5 million. It's moving right along. You know, this is where we had the fire. Not by the pump station, but out
in that area.
This is going to pump water into 4,000 acres, and it's going to take water out of Bayou Cane and keep it out the Houma. Keep it out Bayou Terrebonne, and put it in retention. And they have these actuated doors that's going to open up when the elevations in the canals are so high, and they're going to drain. And that's to help the drainage in Bayou Cane. It's a big Bayou Cane, Bayou Terrebonne drainage program, and it goes all the way to Whiskey Bayou by Allendale and of course, all that area.
Interesting, and we only have 45 seconds, but interesting that you were able to flood that area because of the marsh fires that would happen, which is eventually what you're going to do as a retention pond, but you had to do it for a different reason.
Well, remember, we had all the drawings. We're building levees around there.
Right.
We knew the elevations. We had to block off 3 canals coming out of there, small canals. So we had to put some mud blocks in there. And we put roughly 2 foot of water.
Yeah.
We put over 2 billion gallons.
It's a good dry run.
And because it was peat moss, it wasn't going out.
Right.
There was no way to put it out. We did a lot of research on peat moss, and you got to put it underwater.
You know, with that ring levee around that Savan Road area, Bayou Cane area, I guess it's called, you really found out some things that, first of all, it's going to hold water, right?
Right. And, you know, and of course, if you go to the next slide, you see all the trees that we saved. That's a slide that was done yesterday. We saved thousands of acres.
Yeah,
and
it kept burning.
We probably burned 1,000, 1,500 acres. Then when I say we burned it caught fire.
Sure.
But look, I want to thank all your fire departments: Bayou Cane, Bob Blue, Shreve, Koto, Bob Black, Houma Fire Department, Joy Seahan, the people that helped install the pumps, and the council for working with me on it. We put an emergency out and we move forward on it. And in the next slide, you can see we're back to building the pump station. We pumped 2 billion gallons with a B, and the fire's out. But we knew we could do it.
And who knew that peat moss was that flammable and it was so hard to put out?
And could dry out.
Right.
Could dry out with this drought.
It's incredible.
And then the next slide, that's just some more pictures. And then the next one is the Bayou Country Sports Packs, and this is the boys' baseball. We've moved forward. In fact, you'll see the pilings out there being driven. That's the concession stand. It sort of looks like the other one, except it has a gable roof. The other one on soccer has a lean-to type of roof. And this is common ground. It's $4.2 million, but that's not just the concessions. That's putting electricity, water, gas. That's doing sidewalks, doing everything around 5 baseball fields to get them ready, and this was funded by the state. I want to thank Jerome Zerang, especially Tanner McGee, his wife. They really was instrumental on getting the money and the rest of the delegation. So this is under construction as we speak. That's the boys. That's on the boys' baseball, and this is not only the building, but everything, all the common grounds, everything is $4.2 million.
Wow. And it'll service 5
and
baseball fields.
It's state capital funded, and we have to match it with some local funds. And if the next one is soccer fields, in fact, next week we have a ribbon cutting on the soccer fields. They're gonna be using them November 1st. This is a stadium lighted soccer fields, and that what you see in yellow is the volleyball courts, and this is $2.4 million parking lot, and we got the like I said, these are, go out there and take a look at it. It's really impressive.
And their first tournament is going to be November 1st, right?
November 3rd, I think.
In
First part of
association,
November, right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you turn to the next one, there's the volleyball. It's got 3 volleyball
Beach
areas.
volleyball.
And you got 3, and it's beach volleyball. And that's just not a hole with sand. I mean, they the bottom is done. It's all done according to regulation.
Yeah. And a lot of the colleges now use it. LSU has a great team, but a lot of the high school players are starting to play individually during the spring with beach volleyball.
And you can see the parking lot for the soccer fields. And like I say, Tanner and his wife were instrumental in making this happen. I want to thank them.
Yeah, the next shot you'll see is a good high level of what you're
Right,
talking
and
about.
you can see the lights. I mean, there you can see the stadium type of lights. There's a concession stand which we built some time back, and then the next one is you can see the road, how the road goes all the way. So you'll have two ways in. We won't that'll bring you almost to Valhalla. Well, you got to hit the road and take a right to Valhalla, and you can see the stadium lights, and you can see the big
That'll be
fields. I
nice,
mean, they look
right.
like football fields.
Right,
You know?
and then you can play
And that's-
later on.
And that's subsurface drainage. Has sprinkler systems, and that's done to regulation soccer balls.
Right.
And the next one, LA Contractors did it, and Stevie Smith with All South is the engineer on it. Stevie did a wonderful job. And then one more picture, and if you could see it, and then the next, you can see the lake in there. We got 3 docks. We got 10 baseball fields, 3 docks. We have water park. We have batting cages, and now we got all
Now, were you
volleyball.
telling me you're going to have another road out of there? So another exit?
No, that's it.
Oh, I got you.
The road I was showing you takes you to that road, and you take a right, and there's Val. See Valhalla right there?
I got you.
Now, the next one is we're buying the rest of that property. See, we didn't own it all the way to Valhalla.
I got you.
We're buying that. It's a $2.7 million purchase, but it's 25 acres. We have plans to put a LSU agriculture extension,
Oh, nice.
an arena, a state-of-the-art arena, 4-H born, and whatever else, but this is, we're actually signing this to purchase the land next week.
Oh, okay, great.
And then the next one is with these public boat launches.
That's down in
That's
Chauvin.
Petit Caillou. Please go by there. It's all, everything we do is handicap access. The docks, the volleyball fields, the soccer ball, the baseball, everything is handicapped. So are these boat landings. The handicap access. They all have kayak docks. I know kayaks becoming a big thing. And this is right past Boudreaux Canal in Chauvin. If they go to the next one, and we built that. You can see they got benches, they got railings.
You can go out there and crab all day right there, huh?
All day. The next one, you can see the handicap parking off to the right. And we put garbage cans out there. We have police cameras out there. It's very safe. You can crab. You bring your little tin if you want to pitch it up right over a table or something.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we did one up in Upper Montague, and we did this one up in Upper Montague. The next one, is Upper Montague. This has all been done. It's a smaller one than the one in Chauvin, but we took an existing landing right before you get to Montague, and the same thing. You got railings and.
But so much nicer than having to try and
Oh,
walk
look,
down to the water and worry about falling in the
And then
water.
remember, you also got boat launches and all.
Right,
We put
and-
it's all public, no charge.
Right, and handicap
And we just
accessible,
ask the
right.
public to keep it clean, but we do put garbage cans out there. And that is actually under Clay Narcan. He's the department head over that. Next one is Texas Gulf Road in Berg. This is another real nice, very large marina. If you look at the next slide, that's from a distance.
Yeah, right.
You see plenty of parking. And you got the same thing with the railings, the docks, handicap access, kayak docks, and
Look, man, for anybody that's looking for something to do, that's a great weekend with your
Oh.
kids, is to go out there and
And
obviously get an umbrella, stay out of the sun a little bit, but play around with some crab nets and
And
some
I
chicken
watch them
necks.
catch, drums, red,
Yeah,
specks.
yeah.
They catch a lot of fish. I mean, it's
Really easy access.
and it's exciting. And then the next one is, that's the Texas Gulf Road, like I say, in Berg. And the next one is the Miter Gates. That's the twin span. We're under engineering and design. And what it does is basically we could put Montague, Berg, East Houma under force pump if we need it. And Berg, Montague, and East Houma. So that's the one
This would-
by Terrebonne at
This
the
would be
twin
on the
span.
south side of the navigational canal.
South side, yes, sir.
Of the intercoastal canal.
intercoastal, yeah.
In the
The
Terrebonne.
the
by
hospital's
Terrebonne.
across the intercoastal from
Right.
there. The next one is Company Canal. If you're going to close it off, we're going to have Company Canal is the next one, and this will close it off and allow us to go under force pump. See, we put Chauvin under force pump.
Right. It
So
helped
this
out.
is, and then this is the Bayou Terrebonne lock. The Bayou Terrebonne lock, because we built 2 locks, one in Bayou Terrebonne to allow vessels to come and go and keep salt water and high waters out. This is under designing engineering. This is probably 6 months away. We do have $5 million of funding from the statewide flood program. We have to raise another $5 million. Now they're lifting. That's the old gate there at below Montague. They're lifting. The levee board's going to lift that to 21 feet.
Wow.
All levees are being lifted to 21 feet. And then the next one, of course, is the Bubba Dove floodgate. And I always show that because the next one is they're taking bids for a $360 million. And the reason it says under construction, they're taking bids for phase 2. They've done the dredging, and that's Reggie Dupre, Tony Alford. We funded this as CPRA. Actually, when I was in the legislature, we had $450 million for this project because it's going to retrofit the Bubba Dove to 21 feet. It's 18 feet. And this is actually out for bids as we speak. And this will stop any high waters coming into Terrebonne Parish, any salt water. If there's a hurricane, we can let vessels come and go up to 8 feet of water. If you're out there after 8 feet of water, you're
on your own.
And look, this is the operations facilities, the next one. And that's where the operations facilities go. If you take that levee right there, it brings you to 4 Point Road. And this is a beautiful project. A lot of concerted effort, our delegation, and
they're going to build a facility right there.
That's where the operations facility for the lock system.
Right.
Remember, it has to be manned.
And
it has to be manned 24 hours a day.
And what we've seen, and with the saltwater wedge that everybody was so fired up about with the Mississippi, we get the same thing that comes up the Houma Nav.
We get salt water.
So this will really freshen up the water. No, not that we're getting our water from here. We get it mostly up from Lafourche. But it'll really freshen up the Bayou Terrebonne water.
That will change the ecosystem that for Terrebonne. Everything will freshen up. The fresher the water, the better vegetation. I mean, it goes with it. And remember, you can shut the hurricane off here. You got 80 miles of Morganza levee, by the way, that's going to 15 feet.
Right.
And then you have an $80 million gate in Bayou Chene. That's a 400-foot gate. The Bubba Dove's 250. And yet that will stop. You could close that off to stop the Chaffalaya water from coming flooding.
Which is a real problem.
We're in very good shape.
Yeah.
Look, and we added 30 pump stations, telemetry SCADA, so you're not going to flood anymore. That's not our problem. Insurance is our problem.
Sure. Well, Gordon Dove, thank you so much for joining us. That's Going Public. I'm Harry McCullough. We'll see you next time.